Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays City Skylines. We got some work to do in this episode, but things are still going pretty well. The big thing that we have to do right now is rezoning. This is how our city currently looks. We just unlocked, I hate that I'm doing this, by the way, this constant ooh thing. I know that it probably annoys people, but just, there we go, straight on, okay. We need to figure out where we're gonna put these apartment buildings. I think it makes sense to put the apartment buildings near areas that are high density, well not high density, but they have access to high density roads. Like right along this roundabout seems pretty good, but why would you want to live in an apartment building that has no other apartment buildings next to it? I think actually here, but then it takes a long time for you to actually get where you need to go, so you need public transit, because in an apartment building, I mean you might own a car, but lots of young people are going to live there, they might not necessarily own cars. So I think what we've got to do here is do things in a little bit of a weird way. And do them slowly as well. I'm going to redistrict this to start with as high-density residential. So we're just going to take this, and we're going to take it from the middle to start with. And the reason we're going to take it from the middle is so that it doesn't disrupt our power connectors. So maybe just take like a relatively small space and redistrict it, and we'll see how this will work. And this might, or not redistrict, sorry, rezone. This might be a full episode of straight up, rezoning and building. But it's an extremely important part of the whole production game here. And also, before we do anything crazy, we should also raise our taxes for high-density residential and high-density commercial. That way, they're not necessarily paying less based on, the fact that they live in a very, very slightly different zone than they would have before. Mostly, I just usually forget. So again, we lost, maybe like 150 people as a result of that. But as a result of these new, mid-height buildings, we should have a pretty good chance to improve that population density very, very quickly. Hopefully, they build out in an efficient way. Just waiting for like all of the production to be done here. And we'll do this slowly, like a la carte, as things happen here. In order to make sure that we don't totally disrupt the equilibrium of our city, either from a growth standpoint or, just financially speaking as well. Because right now, this has worked out pretty well. All right, that place is set up. Now, admittedly, we are going to run into situations where we are going to have to basically expand our services as a result of this. More population density means more people. It means we're going to need more garbage, more water, etc., etc. More power in particular. Yeah, we're probably going to need to build another one of those pretty soon. Speaking of which, we needed to get that wired up there. We are going to empty that, and it'll take a second, but it'll figure out how to get the garbage trucks going here. And it's in a pretty efficient standpoint that I think it could probably get emptied relatively quickly. Which is why I kind of like the idea of that being the garbage district. So what I'm going to do here, this is going to seem a little wonky. We're going to take away this area from here to here, even though there is still commercial demand. And for now, we're going to rezone this as low-density residential. So that, if this is like an area that's a little bit further away from things traffic-wise, and as a result, you have to have a car, but that's why it's better for maybe like people a little bit older. And then we're going to scoop through here, and we're going to rezone this as high-density commercial, so that the people in the apartment buildings have something to shop for, and the people in the shops, so the people who own the shops, have people to buy their stuff. So again, this is going to cost us a little bit from a population standpoint, but then it'll bounce back up. And basically, I want to get this done sooner rather than later, so I can keep things going here. And as more and more people come into our city, I'm aware that demand will rise for industrial services. The demand will rise for industry to move into our city because we'll have a higher population. So I'm thinking that maybe, financially, if we could buy this, it's going to be $7,600. We could build like another industrial area just out like that. And actually, there is a highway connection there, which would be awesome. I think I'm going to try it. And we might not necessarily buy it or do anything with it right away, just like we haven't done anything with this other section, but now we know that if we really need to expand industrial, we can just build like a small road that comes off like this. No, we wouldn't even do that. We would build like another highway on-ramp and build like an industrial section like this that would eventually connect, but it would probably connect through this road to help out with traffic a little bit. But that's going to be a little bit more expensive. I think now is probably a good time to take another loan. That one is a little bit over halfway done. We can start taking loans to pay off other loans. That seems like a bad idea, but we would get more money as a result. Maybe we'll just play it cool, though, for now. All right, so we still have a high... this is pretty much filled out. We still have a high residential demand. So we're going to do pretty much exactly the same thing here. And I think I made my mistake earlier in the first series with Scumtopia, and I didn't do it slowly. You know, it's like the classic Kanye West featuring Jamie Foxx and Twista Jam, slow jams. Damn, baby, I can't do it that fast, but I don't know anybody who can, because it's like very irresponsible to just demolish an entire city block and hope that it'll refill itself. Twista! Yeah, that's where Twista comes in, and he, you know, got you looking at the gliss on my hands and wrists, you know the deal. That cadence was not proper, but that doesn't matter. So yeah, this is going to be like Industrial Area 2.0. When we get a little fancier later, we can start doing things like, you know, no heavy traffic off of this intersection, and then all heavy traffic will have to come in this way. But that's not really what we want to do just yet, because that's going to create a terrible situation for us, where heavy traffic can't get to industrial areas, and as a result, they start going out of business. Seems like a pretty stupid idea for me to pull right now. All right, I mean, this stuff is building in really quickly. So my next... inclination is to start taking this stuff that's on the roundabout, and you know, it's getting pretty close. Remember to take a look at the metro station. Look, my city doesn't have public transit, okay? What do you think this is? Some socialist Europine, you know, communist wonderland? I don't think so. You own a car here, or you walk like a normal person. I apologize for using that accent as a shortcut for ignorance, or at least disagreement with me. That is, that's lazy writing is what that is. And we're gonna just D-zone like this much. I also don't necessarily prescribe to the ideal that I used to have that was basically like low density is worse than high density. Hopefully this doesn't completely mess up our power grid when this stuff goes down. I think low density and high density both have their places. Low density for older people, high density for young adults. Not that that holds true 100% of the time, but in the game, it seems relatively common. And the other thing that I made a mistake with for sure is growing our city way too quickly. I didn't have the money to pay for services because I spent so much money building out, or building out and up, I guess. And then once I got to that point where I had so many people, we had so many problems, and with that many problems, we didn't have any money to take care of it, and it just sort of snowballed to a pretty bad place. I kind of want to... Sorry, people have started to die? A dead person is waiting for transport. I mean, we could throw a cemetery over here. That's pretty cheap. But it might highlight an underlying problem with our traffic, and you can see traffic starting to get a little wild over here. A lot of that is probably industrial, which is why actually building another highway interchange right now would take a lot of the stress off of this. Yeah, okay. I'll tell you what. I don't really want to pay that loan now, but I do want $60,000. What's payment left? 17? 26. If we pay our 26 down, we'll get 60 back. It's a net gain of 34, but we get more interest. Yeah, okay, pay now. Take it. Now we got 60,000 with, you know, more interest admittedly to pay back, but now we'll build another on-ramp here. I know we need police headquarters, we need a hospital, we need a fire department, all that jazz. There has to be a connection somewhere. It has to go like this. But we'll build that out later. So we're going to start with not even a highway. This is the problem, is that I don't actually know how to build something like this. Like, when I look at it, my head just does not work. Road comes in, and then there's like your little road, and then you go out to the other side. What is even up with that, right? Like, that's not just a cloverleaf intersection or a three-way intersection. Is it just a three-lane intersection? It looks kind of similar to a 3-lane intersection. Oh man, that is expensive. Let me take a quick look. Will this work? Just rotate it. No, you don't understand. You gotta rotate. You don't understand. You gotta rotate. There we go. Rotate it. It's ever so slowly. It's almost there. Oh, it won't even work like this? Slope too steep? What are you talking about, slope too steep? Space already occupied. We can definitely build it like that. I mean, I guess we would just do it, and then we'd connect it via a road. How does it even work? Like, it comes out the back of the other one. We'd have to build it, like, over here? Is this the way it's normally supposed to go? I don't know, man. I think I'm just gonna have to accept that, you know, it's gonna be a little bit cumbersome here. Can I even, like, let's just make sure I can actually build a road off of it. Yeah, of course. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. We'll make, like, our own on-ramps and off-ramps. Do they go up in the air? They don't necessarily. I might just do, like, 6-lane roads. There's probably some terrible problem with this. 6-lane one-way, yeah. So we'll do, like, one-way out, and let's brainstorm how this is gonna work. I guess the problem is that it's hard to switch lanes to actually get into the city this way, but, you know, just think about that before you drive where I am. I would like the off-road to be, like, here. Actually, no, I would like the off-road to be here, and the on-road to be here, so that you can drive easily into this part of the city. Is this even sensical? Here's what I'm thinking right now. One way. Like this. And that will be D-zoned. This will be like one way going the other way. You know, let's make it two-way just to be safe. This is going to be so expensive, too. We'll try it, like, just to here. And then can we go across? Space already occupied. Yeah, but why can't I build it, though? You see? Like, I know space already occupied, but that's what the bridge is for. I'd really like to put it on the corner, but if we have to put it here, that's fine. Alright, so at least now we have a bridge that people can use to access the new part of our city. And we've spent, like, all of our money. Like, I don't even know if we're going to be able to get that set up from an infrastructure standpoint. You know, with things like, you know, water, fire prevention, stuff like that. But we gotta try. And now all of a sudden we're losing a lot of money as well. I wonder if I can... Ooh, building is burned down. I wonder if I can crank up tax just a little bit without putting myself in a terrible situation. Another thing I was thinking is, what if we just straight up D-zone like a lot of the commercial in order to turn it into industrial? If I just painted like... Oh, no. There we go. Hopefully that doesn't kick those buildings out. I mean, I knew it was going to kick out the commercial ones. I really did not expect it to kick out the industrial ones. Maybe it didn't, now that I look at it. Is this okay? Financially, a little bit of a wonky spot, no question about it. My hope is that this new highway on and off ramp takes a little bit of stress off of this roundabout, because if you have industry, you could choose to just take it in this way. Cemetery needed. A dead person is waiting for transport. We don't have very much money, unfortunately. Yeah, we definitely need to put a couple of cemeteries in other parts of our city here. I think I've made, like, financially a terrible decision. And I'm gonna raise taxes by, like, 1%. Across the board. And I'm gonna see if people flip out and leave. Like, I don't think it's impossible to come back from this. I just think it's a little poor. I don't really want to buy new land right now. I think I already made a little bit of an overly ambitious mistake as a result of buying so much land to begin with. But temporarily, my plan is convert commercial to industrial, then rezone low-density commercial to high-density commercial in order to fill the new demand. For commercial. The word commercial has now lost all meaning, by the way. Just want to avoid taking out this residential area. There's not much residential demand right now, which is why I'm not very worried about rezoning that. Just want to make sure we're getting these areas appropriately. We'll take out the small brush. You don't want to be careless with stuff like this. You want to make sure you're only taking out the buildings that need to be taken out. You can go with a bigger brush for this one. Like, filling it in is easy. And there's still a huge demand for industrial. So I'm thinking, you know, we get the commercial demand going over here, and then we bulldoze like half of this block to make it industrial as well. Because there's still a huge demand for industrial. But financially, we need to pull ourselves out of this hole. Lots of dead bodies. It's never a good sign. Let's be honest. I just want to make sure that we're dealing with the existing... Oh, there's a Herscott there. Just want to make sure we're dealing with the existing demand for commercial before I basically create a bunch of new demand for it. Just don't want to leave like a huge vacuum piled up. But honestly, I'm still relatively pleased with the way this is going. Traffic it's still not that bad. I mean, it's obviously bad right when you enter the city, but have you been to a city lately? Like, every city has at least, you know, some areas of high congestion. I will admit, we need to invest more in our services. There's not really any way I can justify charging my people a higher than normal tax rate when there's no public transit and, you know, buildings are burning down and sometimes your dead people get left in their houses. And, yeah, lots of dead bodies. I will give you that. So... we're still doing a fair amount with the space that we have, which I'm very thankful for. I want to try an experiment, but first I want to get a little bit more industrial land on this side of the pond here. So I'm going to basically cut this open, set it up like that, and I definitely need to rename this district. Instead of the Ryokan rectangle and the railway district, these are going to be merged right along this crazy road right here. And I kind of want to like D-zone this just to make it look cooler. We're going to D-zone it like this. There we go. And then this is going to be the wedge. The wedge is the soul of the city, man. This is where all the hard work gets done. And also there's probably like a party city. Bunch of coffee shops. There's not much commercial stuff going on here. We gotta be honest, but... okay, again, I feel like I'm reassuring myself more than the people watching, but I feel like we're doing a pretty good job. We could have easily gone for higher population growth instead of just doing this, like, really slow transitioning. Could have just zoned out a bunch of new shit, made it high-density residential, and just let the chips fall where they may. But I think this was a better decision, to take it more slowly. We do need to throw a cemetery down in a situation where, you know, a cemetery like somewhere along here is actually basically perfect. It's gonna bulldoze a F-ton of buildings, but it services like that entire area over here, and then another cemetery like over... I might even need to make two more. Like one like right here, and then one like right here. That's good, pretty good. One like right here. Not enough money? Need a little bit more money. That's fine. So what my thinking is what if, to solve traffic, we made these districts no, and we'll have to be a little bit more careful, like draw out Cooper Heights just a little bit more like that. And we'll just say, you know what, Cooper Heights, no heavy traffic. I want to watch this as this happens to see if it creates a truly horrible situation. But we'll go to policies here. And we'll say, where's no heavy traffic? Heavy traffic ban. Ban heavy traffic on an area. Make sure there's optional routes available because businesses in the city need to send and receive deliveries. Yeah, you put it on, man. Boom. Cooper Heights no longer has heavy traffic allowed, which means industrial trucks shouldn't... oh, but it doesn't apply to highways. But this isn't really a highway anymore. Industrial trucks should no longer be able to get around this way, meaning they'll have to take this way in, which will cause a lot of traffic in the industrial regions. Oh, but actually... no, they can just drive around here and then still get out this way. I want to see how this affects traffic long term. For now, it hasn't really done anything. It's made this area a little worse, I think. Local government is the city planning to build more industry. Hashtag unemployed. Hashtag welder. You're in luck. We do have to build more infrastructure. I mean, we've got to build more of a lot of things. The first thing I want to do is throw down a cemetery here, just to make sure that all the dead are taken care of. Our population growth is going to stagnate a little bit, as we don't have a lot of industry. There's still a little demand for commercial. We'll take care of that, though, by converting some low density into high density. But first things first, let's be a little careful here. Stretch this out. And then take the small brush to do our details here. You know what? Actually, this is a bad idea. Somewhat. How deep does that go? Right down there. So we're going to keep this as commercial, but we're going to make it high density. Reason being, we definitely need a buffer between our commercial centers and our industrial centers. So that'll take care of some of the commercial demand. Once we get a little bit more capital, we'll start building some industrial areas over here. Now, this is going to be industrial in. So I almost feel like we, in a way, like bulldoze this road that we created and then build a roundabout and then use that roundabout to start creating another industrial area in the middle here. Like roundabout. But we're going to need a lot more money for that. But it has to get done, so we also need more police stations. Well, we're always going to need something, though, you know? Alright. So, that traffic is getting a little wild there. Yeah, that's creating a lot of issues. If we're going to go with that, that road is probably going to need to be upgraded. Like, all of these roads will probably need to be upgraded. What is it upgrading to? Whatever we clicked on, I guess. This is a 6-lane road. These are only normally 4-lane roads, so this should help. And it's actually not that expensive. It's got no median, but that's okay because it means we don't have to bulldoze the extra space that was there before. And oh, thank God I didn't accidentally click on one way. Space already occupied. So it's gonna go like 6-lane, 4-lane, 6-lane. I'm gonna guess that that probably can't be good. It's gonna be a little expensive for now. These people are actually getting pretty stoked that the lanes are gonna be bigger, because maybe it means, you know, less traffic for them. Good for you. Still would prefer this to be like a roundabout, but I don't want to rebuild the whole freaking district. We'll see how this ends up working out. Still bad, but better. That should be the tagline of this series. Can we upgrade this road? We can and should. But we can't do it without bulldozing these buildings right here. Oh, and we just can't do it. So that sorts that out. Alright, I mean, at least temporarily, that seems to have, if not solved, at least minimized traffic-related woes in the area, which is pretty nice. And we just can't, like, oh, we can upgrade this road. I didn't know we could upgrade just the intake roads like that. That is going to make our roundabouts a lot more efficient. Admittedly, it's going to destroy a lot of buildings in the process. This space must be occupied by, like, something serious. Do I have, like, a hospital here or something? Like a medical clinic? Police station. Okay, well, I tell you what, I can relocate the police station to be, like, right here. And that did cost us some extra money. But those people, they're unhappy that the police station's coming? What are you guys up to that's causing that ruckus? There you go. And admittedly, you know, this is not a problem that's completely solved, but I think we've done some good stuff here for our population. I think we've made it, you know, our population hasn't grown that much over the course of this episode, but I think we've given it the impetus to grow more in the future. Now, we really need to, with our next bit of capital, get some industrial zoned out. I need to click bulldoze. Awesome, Matt G. I need to build some new industrial because we're having a lot of issues with unemployment, which is why our population is kind of stagnating and these high-density residential buildings are going under. So, I'll tell you what, why don't we just do what is probably the obvious thing and zone some industrial, like, right here. And we can maybe just not on that side, and we'll zone that side as like high density commercial. Just to keep our population happy. And as more people move into this area, this should be good. This area will eventually be a memory of a time when, no, it'll eventually be an industrial playground, hopefully, that we can use, you know, this all this available land basically as our new wedge, and I don't even know what we'll do here. Oh, your building is now empty. I have never done that. I have never done that. I've never been able to empty a landfill. That is a huge help. And now we'll have double the garbage trucks that will be servicing the city, which will hopefully help out. This is pretty good, man. For a while there, you know, it's like when you're working on like a math problem, and you're like, I don't really know how what I'm doing right now is going to help me get to the final answer, but it feels like it'll be helpful. That's pretty much what's going through my head right now. I'm like, we've got a pretty good setup going on now. We did a lot of work, and now, like a lot of work that seemed like it wasn't helping, but now we're making a lot of money, a decent amount of money, and our population's growing, residential demand's coming back up, our industrial area has already fulfilled the demand, or sorry, not fulfilled the demand, but our supply has already been completely used here. So as we get more money, we'll just we'll start building some more industrial stuff over here. But I wanted to get the roundabouts going first, so we got to be very careful about the way that we do this. This is another kind of high stress situation. So I'm gonna bulldoze like a lot of this road. Then we're going to put in a large roundabout so it can deal with traffic. Just rotate it, please. Large roundabout's gonna go like, I mean, I don't really want it to do that. It's gonna look ugly and might not even be able to attach to that road, but we'll try it anyway. It's gonna look hideous, I apologize for that. Oh, I want to upgrade, sorry. Just grab this and put it, little... Lovely. That's beautiful. And then we're pretty much gonna do exactly the same here. This is all in preparation for making this area, like, less traffic industrial. Like an area where traffic can move a little bit more freely. We're gonna be a lot less stressed out. Is this really the best way that we have to do this? The answer to that question, by the way, is no. We might have to use a small roundabout here. Yeah. That's unfortunate, but at least we can upgrade the intake on it. Sounds like I'm talking about Need for Speed. Joke's on you, nerds! I'm building a city! Alright, let's make sure we're upgrading these roads first. And the reason we're going to want to do that is just so that we can... Oh, no, don't upgrade. Is just so that we can ensure that we got like a decent amount of intake happening and people can move around and it's lovely and oh good. Alright. I'm feeling like this area is going to be pretty solid. We are going to need to build in an intersection. I think we'll probably build it in from... I don't know. But for now, it's looking pretty nice, right? Like, we could just build like an industrial area off here. The reason I'm hesitant to really go all in on this industrial area right now is because I need to keep in mind that I need to build power lines and I need to build water lines over there. That could cost us 20,000, so I kind of just want to take it a little slow for now. But I have to strike a pretty good balance because the slower we go, the more residential demand seems to be falling, which could send our city into kind of a tailspin, you know? And I want to avoid that for what I assume are pretty obvious reasons. And we've kind of peaked on our industrial space without intruding on our residential space or occupying like the off-ramps, which is a bad idea for what we want to do here. This traffic makes like no sense. Like if you go out, you have to go out. But if you connect it here, it just creates a whole host of problems. I'm mostly just amazed that our city actually seems to be running pretty well. Like that, it's not enormous yet, but we're getting to the point where it's getting somewhat nicely sized, and yet it's not bad, man. I've run into a lot of problems a lot faster than this before. We are getting close to the end of this episode, but I think we should start with building power and water over to this new area. That way we don't get any unlucky surprises. Oh shit, okay, well, actually it sounds like we're almost out of power. Yeah, we just hit the like brownout zone, so thank God I didn't spend too much money there. That'll at least give us a little bit more time before things get truly terrible. But let's start like this. And then we'll go... Oh, there we go. I'm going to take an extra minute or two here. Just want to get this all zoned up. Not zoned up, but piped up properly. Got my ups wrong. And then I think actually the best place for us to build industrial is going to be right along the water here. Speaking of which, water's looking pretty okay, thankfully. Is right along the water here. That way when industrial trucks come in, they come over here. And maybe we'll build, obviously, like, further out into this direction either as well. But they'll build over here. The trucks will turn in, they'll deliver, and then they'll come out on the roundabout and just go straight through to the exit here via those double roundabouts. So let's keep it going here with, like, a 6-lane road, just so I don't forget. And honestly, we might build the 6-lane road with a little bit of a rakish curve, just to preserve a little bit of space here. And we'll kind of do, like, the same thing again. We'll have a little bit of a weird-ass, like, buffer here. That's probably not the way you would describe that, but that's okay. Like that, and then maybe, just maybe, it's like a little 3 there. Maybe that'll give us our district name. We'll throw, like, a small roundabout on it. It's a little bit of a suboptimal use of space, I'll admit. However, like, bulldoze this road. Upgrade this one, and this one, and this one for eventual usage. Now we got like a nice little industrial area that doesn't have power yet, but we'll install power lines. I promise. Small business owners. We'll install power lines in our next episode. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. It helps out a great deal. And of course, subscribe if you would like to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.